Bonjour, c'est encore moi, Dr Laetitia. Dans ce segment, nous allons parler des pronoms relatifs. OK? Alors, en anglais, quand je dis pronom relatif, je veux dire who, that, which, whom, whose, where, when. OK? Dans votre livre en français, on dit simplement qui, que, dont, où. So you're not going to see all of the ones that I mentioned in English. We're going to focus mainly on qui, que, dont, où in your book, but I will go through these. Alors, qu'est-ce que c'est? Un pronom relatif remplace un nom ou un pronom qui a été mentionné. OK? Donc, le nom qui est mentionné avant s'appelle l'antécédent, antecedent. OK? Comme le nom l'indique, le pronom relatif relie, it links, deux phrases ensemble pour éviter les répétitions. Plus spécifiquement, le pronom relatif introduit une subordonnée relative. Exemple, elle parle au professeur qui lui a donné un F. OK? Alors ici, vous voyez le pronom qui, OK? Qui est mis pour professeur. Et le professeur, c'est l'antécédent. OK? Le professeur lui a donné un F. She's talking or she's speaking to the professor who gave her an F. Okay? I would rather say who gave her an A, just to be grateful. I don't like Fs. Okay? She's talking to the professor who gave her the A. I like positive reinforcement. On continue. Alors, dans cette phrase, comme je vous ai dit, professeur, c'est l'antécédent. OK? It's antecedent. It precedes. OK? And the relative pronoun, qui, replaces professeur to avoid repetition. Voilà. We do the same thing in English. OK? Elle parle au professeur. Le professeur lui a donné un F. I would have to repeat le professeur again. So in order to avoid that, okay, I will use a relative pronoun that has the same gender and number, well, you know, than the noun that it replaces. As you can see here, le professeur is the subject of this verb, donner. Okay, so in order to replace it, I will use relative pronoun that is also subject. Okay? Voilà. Like I said, it introduces a subordinate, donc le pronom relatif introduit une subordonnée relative. Elle parle au professeur qui lui a donné un F. Okay? Qui remplace le sujet. Okay? Why do I say to replace the subject? Because see, in this sentence, you already have a subject and a verb, okay? But in that sentence, if I didn't have that relative pronoun right there, I would have a verb, and this lui here is an object, it's not a subject. So you'll have a verb standing by itself without a subject, and that's a no-no, okay? So you have to provide the subject pronoun, and qui is a subject pronoun, a relative pronoun that is subject, okay? In English, you don't always use it, okay? The book I'm reading is interesting, okay? But in French, you have to use your relative pronoun all the time, okay? Like I said, cannot be omitted in French, okay? You have different types of relative pronouns. So in this chapter, we're just going to do qui, que, dont, and où, all right? But just know that your relative pronoun can be subject, direct object, or object of a preposition, okay? So dont is one of them. Okay? Alors, qui can mean who, that, which. Que can mean that, whom, or which. Dont means of which, of whom, whose. The key for dont is to remember what verbs that usually come with the preposition de, like rêver de or parler de. These are the verbs that are going to need to be replaced by dont. Keep that in mind. Où means when, where, which. So when it comes to a location, a place, or a time, okay? Remember when, so you're going to use où as your relative pronoun. Okay? Qui can only replace a subject. So qui is always followed by a verb. Sometimes you're going to have an object pronoun standing in front of the verb, so don't let that fool you, okay? Le professeur qui parle est ennuyeux. The professor who is speaking is boring. Let's go back to that. I just wanted to go back to the example that I just showed you. Okay. My system went a little too far. We've seen all of that. We've seen that. Okay. So, le professeur qui parle est ennuyeux. Qui is the subject of the verb parle. Okay. Let's look at que. Que means whom, that, or which. Which. Que replaces the direct object. Okay, and remember, a thing or a person can be direct object. So don't be fooled by, oh man, it's a person, I can't use that. Okay? So the word order is que, that is going to be followed by a subject and then a verb. Très important. Very important. La femme que tu aimes ne t'aime pas. Now this is sad. The woman whom you love does not love you. Sorry, it happens. Just see, que is followed by a subject and then by a verb. Remember the word order. Que, subject, verb. And for qui, we saw that, before, if the system allows me to go, back with no problem. I guess it does not like that. Okay, so it really took me very far. This is your list of pronouns, qui, que, dont, and où. Again, this is qui, and this is what I wanted to show you, the word order with qui. All right? Qui is followed by a verb. So remember, qui plus a verb. Qui parle, qui danse, qui chante, qui mange. Okay? But que is followed by a subject. Okay? And the subject is followed by a verb. So you usually have que plus the subject plus a verb. N'est-ce pas? Look at this example. La femme que tu aimes ne t'aime pas. Que followed by a subject and followed by a verb. Okay, la femme que tu as invitée est chauve. I want to draw your attention on this past participle that is feminine here. Why is it feminine? Okay? So ask yourself, you invited whom? You invited que. Because que stands for la femme, which is feminine, right? Don't remember the rule that the past participle agrees in gender and number with the noun when it's placed before the verb, okay? So a relative pronoun like que, which is a direct object, right, is always preceding the verb. So you need to go back to, okay, so what is the gender of that que? It takes the same gender at the noun that it replaces. So la femme being feminine, que is feminine. And if que is feminine, it stands in front of the verb à inviter, which means that this past participle is going to be feminine. Does that make sense? Isn't that fun? I think it's fun playing with French. Okay? La femme que tu as invitée est chauve. The past participle agrees in gender and number with the direct object when the direct object precedes the verb. And the direct object takes whatever gender and number as the noun that it replaces. Of course, here, since we're talking about a direct object, a relative pronoun, there is no number. I mean, there is no feminine or masculine form, okay? But it has the same. It keeps the same. So if this was feminine plural, this would be feminine plural, even though it's spelled as Q-U-E. So in that case, you would have, you know, invité. Let's look at it. I would have to write les femmes, okay, que. Let's change the subject into vous. Vous avez invité. Okay, I'll leave it this way for now because we have to do some thinking together. Les femmes que vous avez invitées sont belles. All women are beautiful, right? Okay, so we use que as our relative pronoun, okay, because you invited who? The women. So I have a passé composé here, passé composé, okay? Which means that I have a past participle, right? That's a past participle. The past participle agrees in gender and number with a direct object pronoun. So this needs to agree with this. And this stands for this. This is feminine plural, meaning that this is feminine plural. Voilà. Okay? Les femmes que vous avez invitées sont belles. Okay? The pronoun, the relative pronoun, is feminine plural because it stands for the women. And here, it is right before the verb. Here's the verb. Vous avez invité. Ça, c'est le verbe. OK? Donc, quand l'objet direct précède le verbe, le participe passé s'accorde en genre et en nombre avec l'objet direct. Ici, l'objet direct tient pour les femmes, et les femmes, c'est féminin pluriel. Tada! Voilà. Let's do some erasing here. I think this is a lot of fun. Okay? But that's moi. But the more you practice it, the better you'll get at it. Okay? Ouh là là, mon tableau n'est pas très propre. Very fuzzy-wuzzy. I'm going to have to use a different rag soon. How are we doing here? How are you doing? Okay, we'll do with that for now. Okay, on va continuer. Les pronoms relatifs qui sont objets d'une préposition. Alors, qui peut être utilisé après une préposition? Prépositions comme à, avec, pour, par, sans, chez. Okay, all of these referring to people. Okay? L'enfant à qui tu parles est malade. The kid you're talking to is sick. Okay? Tu parles à l'enfant. See? Parler is a verb that comes with à. That's why you have that a right there. It's the same a. Okay? Pronom dont. Okay? Dont means of which, of whom, that, whose. And that of, that de is in the dont. That's why it's on. Okay, so dont is used to replace the preposition de followed by an object. Okay? So remember I was telling you earlier on that certain verbs come with de. Please remember these verbs. Rêver de, which means to dream about. Parler de, se souvenir de, discuter de. All of these verbs followed by a noun are going to need dont when it comes to using relative pronoun. D'accord? rêver de, parler de, se souvenir de, discuter de, avoir besoin de, avoir envie de, avoir peur de. Okay? All of these verbs. You know, these are like the one that you know the most. Okay? When they're followed by a noun, when you need to use a pronom relatif, you're going to use dont. So please make a note of these. D'accord? Voici l'argent. Elle a besoin de l'argent. Here's the money. She needs this money. Okay? So how are we going to make one sentence with that? Okay? So this de, we're going to incorporate it in the dont. Look at the magic. Voici l'argent dont elle a besoin. Okay? And look at the word order. Dont is always followed by a subject and a verb. It has the same, it follows the same thing as que, okay? Except that you only use it when you have a verb that comes with de, like rêver de, parler de, se souvenir de, discuter de, avoir besoin de, avoir envie de, avoir peur de. Okay? Here's the money she needs. Now you can also use dont to mean whose, like for possession. Okay? Voici la fille, ses parents sont riches. Voici la fille dont les parents sont riches. He is the girl whose parents are rich. Okay? In that case, dont is followed by the definite article. So that's very important to know in that case. When you're using it to mean whose, to express possession, okay, you're going to use a definite article in front of the noun. That's going to be right after the dont. Voici la fille whose parents are rich. Dont les parents. I don't want to see dont ses parents, dont mes parents, dont tes parents. No, we said definite article. Definite article is le, la, les, or elle apostrophe. Remember that. Okay? I know this seems like a lot, but you can always replay. Replay the video. Pause. Check again. So what about où? Où, 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 où. Le pronom relatif où qui veut dire where, when, which. So, I told you earlier on, vous pouvez l'utiliser pour parler du temps et des lieux. Time and place. Okay? And it's different from the other ou that means or because it has an accent. The accent mark tells you where. The time, the location, the place. That's why it has an accent. Où. Okay? La salle de classe où nous sommes est très petite. The classroom where we are is too small. Okay? And again, you have the same word order, subject, verb. So, où plus subject and verb. Just like que, just like dont, they follow the same pattern. Okay? So, in this case, it's a location, it means where, you know, in terms of the location. Okay? Le 20 juin, c'est le jour où j'ai rencontré mon meilleur ami. That's interesting, because le 20 juin, c'est le jour où moi, je me suis mariée. Je me suis mariée le 20 juin. I didn't meet him. Well, I guess we met at the altar. Okay? Donc, again, word order, subject, verb. But in that case, when it comes to with où, we're not dealing with, you know, making agreement or anything like that. Okay? So that we only deal with that when we're dealing with direct object. So où is not a direct object pronoun, so we don't have that problem. D'accord? Le 20 juin, c'est le jour où j'ai rencontré mon meilleur ami. Okay, so again, in this case, we're referring to time. Okay? Ça va? Here, we were referring to place, time. Okay. I think we are at the end of our video. J'espère que tout va bien. J'espère que vous avez bien compris. Et donc, si vous avez des questions, vous allez me contacter sur Canvas, ok? Et vous pouvez écrire votre question dans le Canvas Web Courses mail, and I'll be always very happy to answer your question. I try to be as fast as I can. Donc, faites vos devoirs, étudiez votre grammaire et faites les exercices. À bientôt. C'est Dr Laetitia qui vous dit bonne fin de semaine. Au revoir.